Good afternoon, Shaggy SoCal with 2Old4Forza. Time for part D of TNT track guide for season 43 in the Hoonigan Focus. Race 2, or Race 1, depending on which order Matt wants to do this in. It's going to be at Lime Rock Full. And I'm thinking in Forza's history, Maple Valley was kind of, turn 10's kind of Lime Rock inspired track. So it's kind of interesting that we have both Lime Rock and the track that inspired it in the same week. But this one will drive a little bit different than Maple Valley Short. But let's just get into it. You know the format. Let's just go ahead and do a couple of outlaps, and then we'll talk about the lap turn by turn. Into the first turn here. Whoop. Nice long right-hander. Actually, I think third gear is what we're going to be in. And I'll be in second. Going to be left hand here. Late apex to set up. Again, this turn not as important as this turn. Use a little bit of that curving. Maybe not that much. Touch the curving there. Look for the tree on the left. Brake. Turn. Try to get it down to the curving there. Over the yump straight. Quick brake. I'm turning a little bit early there, I think, but again with the understeer. Brake at the tree, and that's a little bit late. We'll do one more outlap. This is a quick lap too. Fourth gear. Brake at the 4. Down to third. Down to second. Again, nice long double apex right. Brake right as you get to the rev limiter. And late apex here. Don't commit fully back to the gas. Just let the car do the work. Again, I'm probably using too much curve there, but give yourself some room there. Brake. That's a little better. So that's just 2 quick laps of Lime Rock. So again, coming down here, coming down the San Posey Straight. We'll just talk about what I'm looking at. It's not too different than previous Lime Rocks. But I think for me right now, braking for the first turn is for the scoreboard. That seems to be at least that's where I'm most comfortable without locking the brakes and then still being able to get the car into the corner. There's really nothing else that I can go off of, as far as judging that. The only thing I might judge it as a previous one is you've got kind of that spectator stand there just under the current lap time. That kind of correlates with, as that's disappearing out of view, you're going to want to get on the brakes. So, hoping, knock on wood, I'm hoping that we don't completely knock all the braking boards off on the left side, but that's about where I'm braking for turn 1. And in that threshold braking, I am going to start to fade the car across, to mid-track, down to second gear into the long, this long right-hander. It's kind of a double apex. So I'll let the car drift out a little bit here to mid-track. And much like at Maple Valley where I talked, at least for me with the wheel, there's only going to be, as far as my steering is, I'm probably about, again, for a 540 rotation set in the game, I'm probably only about 45 degrees on the wheel. And I'm really not going much past that. Once I kind of hit there and I feel the car, I'm letting the vibration that I'm feeling in the wheel and what I'm hearing on the tires to let me know when they start to scrub. I'm going to then start using the throttle, just easing off the throttle to kind of manage the front grip at that point. I'm not going to try and throw more steering in and really put the tires beyond, the slip angle and to where the car's just going to plow. So again, for me on the wheel, physically on the wheel, I'm only going about 45 degrees through here. So still second gear, modulating the throttle, trying to get the car, to the curving there. full throttle out, still second gear. Now braking for this left-hander, it's kind of, the game actually does a pretty good job of giving the cones, as far as marking turn-in points, braking points, turn-in points, apexes, but we're not going to knock those over as the race goes on. So usually what I'm looking for is out past the wall there. You're going to see the poles where they've strung up through you have the loudspeakers that are there. So you've got the one that's, if you look at the black trailer, you see the yellow C truck there. It's that pole right to the right of that. That's usually the one that I'm trying to keep tabs on as I'm coming up to this corner. As that's going out of view, and you notice it's just past where the cone lives. So you can kind of see where that banner gets, where that speaker stand gets to about where the timing is for your current lap time. I'm kind of referencing that if that cone's not there. So second gear, it also, if you've gotten a good run out of turn one, you're going to be banging the rev limiter here as well. So that's the other indication. Yep, it's about time to start braking. So again, left-right combo. This is a long left-hander. Again, I'm also not getting all the way out to the edge because there's no room for error here. Much like Maple Valley, where I talked about, if you drop two tires here, it's just going to suck the car off, and you're going to have a horrible time, trying to get the car back on track. So give yourself a little space, cheat in a little bit, get on the brakes, get into the corner, still second gear. I'm going to late apex this one. So again, you've got the late apex there, but I'm going to try and get the car in so that I wouldn't say quite parallel with the curbing where it ends, but it's a good reference there. I want the car here because I want to be able to have this car set on the left side. Again, we've got the cone kind of saying you need to be on the left side as you get out of that corner, and it sets up nicely for the right-hander here. Again, this, because it leads onto a somewhat not so straight. In fact, I think that's what it's called. You're going to roll into the throttle. You're not going to, I don't know. We'll see how we do in the test race. I've never really been rolling full throttle into here because it's really easy to go full throttle and then have too much speed and have to really check up to try and get the car through here. So maybe it's a little bit of throttle to get the car going. Then you're going to ease off, turn in for this corner, let the car do the work. And again, late apex this one here. You can get on this curbing. My demo laps, I was on it a little too much. So I would say, as much as you dare. I'm going to aim towards that pine tree right behind the flag stand there. It's kind of the reference point. I want to be parallel next to it on the exit, or as I get out here. You can get on this curbing a little bit, but again, I think just the way this car is, if I can be neat and tidy on the exit here, that would be the preference. Because again, you don't have a lot of curbing before you hit the grass. And again, as I will probably mention multiple times, and even may make the mistake myself, you get your left sides out here. It's just going to pull the car out into the tire barriers, and then you're not going to have a good time. So second gear, third gear, I might use a little bit of curbing there. Third gear here, I'll probably wind it out in third gear. This tree, the tree that's right to the left of the rearview mirror there, that's the reference point. As I'm coming down the straight, I'm looking for that tree. I'm not really paying attention to the braking line. That's what I'm using as the reference for braking for this next corner. So as I pass it, it's on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes. Now the cone kind of references, I guess, where you're going to turn a little bit. For me, I think it's about where I'm releasing the brake and turning is right as I'm getting to where the other chicane road is here on the right. I'm kind of trying to reference that as probably about here, as that initial curbing goes out of the way. That's about where I'm trying to let off the brake and roll the car in, because I really want to be able to get the car to this curbing, especially get it there late. As I come up the hill still in third gear, my intent is I want to be straight as I can going up over the hill, because this car will get a little bit of air, and if you still have a little bit of yaw in the car with a little bit of weight on the left side, as you crest the hill, you might feel the back end kind of kick out kind of step out a little bit as you get air. Um, when you land it, if you keep your foot in the gas, it should straighten out again with the all-wheel drive. That's the benefit there. But also, I don't want to get so wide out where I'm crossing the white line that I risk time penalty or going off track or even getting into the tires or into the wall. So, if you can get the car settled in where you're cresting this hill straight in and within, without crossing the white line, I think that's going to be the safest way through there. Still third gear. I'm not sure. I don't think I get up to fourth gear here at all. For this next corner, for me, the braking is, and it's a very subtle thing that I'm looking for, and it's harder to see slow, but it'll make more sense when I get up to speed. Um, this one, the lighting, I think the other version of Lime Rock is a little bit sunnier. It might be easier to tell. But assuming the cone isn't, I'm assuming that cone's going to go bye-bye at some point during the race. So I'm looking a little bit further out to the left to see if I can find something that gives me some static reference with the braking line to use. And I'm going to move up here a little bit. And I'm going to use the stick. So you can kind of see there's two spots on that fence. You can kind of see the one that's straight under the rearview mirror, where that middle part of the Armco is a distinctly different lighter shade than the rest of it. It'll stand out a little bit more when you're up to speed. You'll be able to spot it. There's another one from that panel, 1, 2, 3 back here. You can kind of see underneath. You can kind of see the bottom part is a little bit lighter. Um, so usually that's what I'm looking for when I'm coming down through here. That there's those two spots, and I'm kind of using those to kind of help get a consistent braking point for the next corner. So that's what I'm looking for there. And third gear, it is fairly, you're going to get on the brakes a little bit to get the car slowed. And I don't have a definitive turn-in point. Usually I'm kind of, as I'm getting to the brakes, I'm kind of looking, I think past ones I say I kind of try to look for the cones that are late in the turn. But I find that I tend to turn into this corner a little bit early. But ideally, the apex, again, this is another one of those late apex corners where, if the cones go bye bye, look for where the access road joins the curbing, and that's usually another good sign. If you can kind of get the car parallel there, you're going to be you'll be off the brakes, you'll be off the gas probably at this point, letting the car roll through. If you're here at this point and you can start rolling the throttle back in, it should give you a good exit out. You can get on the curbing here a little bit as you start to head down the hill. Now, for me, this is the hardest one for me to get right as far as braking a turn in. This is going to take me the longest to figure out with this car. The braking I'm using, with the braking line, it lines up with where pretty much where the cone is. But from where that cone is, if you go to the wall and you look, you're going to see the tree that's kind of just right there, to the left of the virtual mirror. I'm going to hit Y. It's like, no, I don't need to rewind. I need to go in reverse. I'm going to back up a little bit because it might be easier to spot that tree. So you can kind of see that if you look where the virtual mirror ear, where it's touching that tree that goes straight down, that's what I'm looking for as I'm coming down the hill. That's what I'm looking for the braking point, and it is. And this is where I'm having trouble still. I'm still trying to figure it out with this car. I'm braking at the tree to get some, to get some weight in the front tires to get the car slowed down. The turn in is somewhere. For me, the turn in is, I think, where this discolored Armco when we've been here previous with, and I forget what car we were here last. I'm not sure if it was the CRX or not. That Armco where it's very light, it's much lighter shade in the middle, was one of my reference points to start to turn in. It might even be in this car. It might be the point where I'm going to let off the gas. But again, it's a late turn in. But I'm just trying to get my eyes to the curbing. And if I do it right, I'm going to get on the curbing here in the second half so I can really get on the throttle out of the corner. That one, it's going to be really easy to turn in early and hit the apex early, and then you just got to be really, and then the car will shoot you across the track on exit. So just that's going to take some time and some laps to kind of get into rhythm as far as where best for you to to get on the brakes really quick, to scrub that little bit of speed, get the car turned in, apex and corner out. My tendency is I'll probably turn in too early initially, and then I'll sort of figure it out as the race goes on. But once you're out of here, you're back up to speed, winding back up through the gears. One other thing, and I'll experiment with this in the race. Again, this car, as we were playing around with the tune, this car makes 650, almost 660 foot-pounds of torque, low in the rev range, and then it drops. Obviously, it drops as you go higher in it. So there was the thought of, is short shifting an advantage? At least for me, no. Because what you might be gaining, by short shifting and getting the higher torque, especially out of the corners and like that, what you might be gaining there, you'll probably lose as far as getting the car slowed down, getting it turned in. Because you're in a higher gear, the car's a bit more relaxed. You're going to have to brake a heck of a lot more to get the car slowed down and turned in if you're gonna run higher gears. So for me, I think I just kind of do what I would typically do, as far as I'd rather have it in a lower gear where it's higher in the rev range, and I've got the gearing to help get the car slowed and turned in. I think that that is more comfortable for me. Time wise, it wasn't too much of a difference. I think short shifting for me with the wheel was a little slower than doing it the way I've just kind of been doing it here. But again, play around with it, find out what's comfortable for you. But with that said, let's get in and do the mock race. And unlike Maple Valley, the AI is a little bit better here, but I think just for sake of it's still trying to figure out what AI is going to work best. Um, I'm actually going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to start the Forza Group Rally, which is what this Hoonigan focuses in. Start them up front, and then I've moved. We'll still have Forza GT making up the bulk of the field in the middle, and then I'm going to go up a spec on the Radical. I'm going to do the Radical RXC. They're a little bit faster than the SR8s that I had in the previous race, and we'll see how that all shakes out. It is a slightly longer lap, but it's a very high speed lap. I'm going to guesstimate we're looking might be 40 laps based off kind of my own testing times. This one, because we're on full throttle for a lot more of the lap than Maple Valley, fuel is going to burn off a heck of a lot quicker. So I think this one, where I was speculating that you might be able to do a fuel save and do it in one stop. I would be very surprised if anybody's going to make this car go 20 laps on a tank of fuel. So let's go ahead and start the race. I'll try and keep better track of tire wear as the fuel burns off. Wait for the AI to get going, and hopefully I do not get rear-ended off the start. I'll make sure, okay, A is look behind, not Y. A. And hopefully we'll have a bit more fun with this race. Maple Valley against the AI, if it's just about navigating through traffic, fine, but that was not a fun mock race to do. Here they come. Oh, please don't hit me. Please see me. Please see me. Please see me. Come on, move to the right. Move to the right. Good job. Good job. Good job. All right, nicely done. Okay, look for the tree. Brake. A little bit wide. Thought about it, but really didn't have enough of a run. First apex right about there. Let the car out. Bring it back. I wasn't sure if he was going to leave me room there. And the AI is always checking up there for some reason. That was a bit of a lunge. Okay. Remember how I said you needed to make sure you gave yourself a little bit of wiggle room? That's why. So yeah, very easy to get too wide. Again, because the car, is gonna on that initial turn in, as you release the brakes, the car's gonna push a little bit. Yeah, I thought about making the inside move, and it was gonna be too late, and then I just couldn't get checked up. And again. So yeah, trying to make an inside move on that corner if you push wide. Where are we on fuel? Five laps. We'll see where we're at 10. It turned a little bit early there. I had to keep it at the apex a little bit longer. wasn't the best line through there. A little bit late. We'll do a fuel and tire check at the end of lap 10. I'm already looking at my fuel gauge going, again, I don't think tire wear is going to be an issue with this car this season. It's the fuel that's going to be suspect. A little wide. Yeah, so almost 6% a lap. If I'm doing the math right. So yeah, this is definitely going to be at least 2 pits. For that, let's see, 40 divided by 3, 4, 3, 13. The car can make it to lap 13. It might be a 2-stopper. Very interesting line that BMW took. Forza Glue! Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, we're looking at a two-stopper, but you at least have a couple of lap. You know, you've got a couple of laps to play with. You can go in a little bit early. I should have gone in. And that was a bit of that was optimistic. So I'm gonna try and nurse. No, no, no. I'm gonna try and nurse this thing in. Nope, there it goes. Okay, so 14 laps is about all you're going to be able to do. You might be able to do 15. Oh, that's tighter than I remember. So yeah, 14 laps. Now, who knows? Maybe if I hadn't gotten spun and jammed on the gas to spin back around, maybe I could have comfortably done 15. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a two-stop race. And exiting the pits, just keep it to the right. In second gear, and then you're back. I'm breaking a little bit past that tree that I talked about earlier. So what I'm going to try and do. So the car, because I don't have the gearing to help, I want to actually try a short shift left, short shift. Be clear on it, shift lap, just to kind of show what that looks like. For me, what I was doing when I was doing the short shift is I was shifting about 5,500 RPM. In the fourth gear here. All right. So let's see if I can get a clean laps and an honest lap, so you can kind of see the difference. Again, because it's lower in the rev range, I'm not getting a lot of the gearing benefit to slow the car. And of course, I'm going to get held up. We might try that again later in the race if I get some some clear track in front of me where I can really test it out. At least for me, it's a little bit slower, and I think it's probably because I'm having to scrub the front tires a little bit more as I go off again. This corner is going to be a problem for me on Thursday. Room for the Lambo. Somebody got together. Oh, the other thing to remember, I'm going to slow down here a little bit. The other thing to keep in mind with the Hoonigan Focus, brake lights aren't where you're expecting them. So if you're looking where the Focus's head brake lights are normally, it's right in the middle of the rear view mirror, or the rear view mirror, right in the middle of the rear window. He parked it on the apex. Oh, that's that Pruitt fade. And I got forced wide again. That I outbraked myself. I got on it too late, and it was either run into the back of him or sideswipe him. Paying too much attention to the guy behind me, and not remembering that Subaru brakes a lot earlier than I expect. All right, let's see. So we're lap 24. I think I can go to, let's see, I know I did 14 and 2/3 on the fuel, so probably, I think just to be safe, I'll do my second pit at lap 28. See if I can do a short shift lap. Yeah, see it, and it's one of those. The gearing would totally help slow the car down. I'm too used to the higher revs. So for me at least, I think just because of the all-wheel drive and just the understeering nature of the car, I think my preference is going to be to as I've talked about in previous videos, where it's like you can have it in the lower gear and put the car a little more on its toes. I think that's going to be the kind of the general rule of thumb with this car, just to help negate some of that inherent understeer. Because in a sense, we're trying to make this car do what it was not designed to do, which is race. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when Ken set this car up or designed this car, they made it. It was meant to go sideways and spin and do all sorts of fun stuff that you wouldn't necessarily do during a race. Which is why it's also got a really small gas tank. Okay, we will do our final pit here. Oh shit, I was supposed to pit. Ha! I lied. Braking a lot more than I normally would, just to make sure that the outside is kind of clear in case the Ferrari decides it wants to contest that. Okay, must pit. Box, 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 box. I'm gonna keep it here. That was better that time. All right. Yeah, if you keep it in second gear and then brake just as you clear the yellow pit line that kind of designates the pit exit, you should be able to make the corner. Almost went off again. You should be able to make the corner without too much trouble in second gear. Thought I had accidentally downshifted. Going for it. Gotta run. Okay. Oh, a little bit wide. Uh, Thought I was over enough. See if I can knock any more time off the best lap. I think this is the only lap I'm going to be able to do that, and I've already messed it up. I've really messed it up. Excuse me. New wheel. Don't think I can really use that excuse anymore. Ooh, almost bend it again. Oh, that was a dive bomb. So yeah, I got the left sides off, and instead of gassing, it's just get off, just go off the gas, get the car back on, and then roll back into the throttle. Excuse me. I won't get a. I don't know that I'll have an opportunity for another clean lap. As you know, I run into everybody. And last lap. This won't be clean either. Nope. You know, a 51.5 is possible. At least for me. It's probably more time out there that I may find later. So that's Lime Rock full. Let's see, there was a 40 lap race. 37. And yeah, it might be a couple laps shy of 50, 40 laps, but you know, it's again 37 minutes. It's in the ballpark. So yeah, um, 38 to 40 laps, depending on how Matt calculates that out. But yeah, that's Lime Rock. And again, we have a very small gas tank, so gonna be it's gonna be a two stopper, even for a short race. So with that, hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Thursday or before if I see some of you guys in practice. And happy racing.